G'day everyone and welcome to this Inside Rugby preview show, and in this show I'm going to be talking about the game that's being played on Saturday in Auckland, New Zealand between the Auckland Blues and the Waikato Chiefs in the final of this year's Super Rugby Pacific competition. G'day everyone and welcome back to the channel. If you're a first time visitor to my channel, welcome. It's great to have you here. My name is Mark. I'm a Kiwi rugby fan who's living here in beautiful Cancun in Mexico, and we've got quite a bit of rain around at the moment, so excuse the noise in the background. In today's video I'm going to be talking about the Super Rugby final that's being played at Eden Park on Saturday night between the Auckland Blues and the Waikato Chiefs. It's going to be a humdinger of a game, that's for sure. So let's get through the two teams and then I'll tell you about who I think is going to win this game and why they're going to win the game. Now, just a couple of things to go through before I go through the two teams that are going to be taking to Eden Park on Saturday for this game. And the first thing is their last 5 games. Well, the Auckland Blues have won 4 out of their last 5, whereas the Chiefs have won just 3 out of their last 5s. And one of the interesting statistics I find is the Auckland Blues have scored 26 tries in those games versus 16 from the Waikato Chiefs. So the Blues have been getting over the line of their competitors on more occasions than what the Waikato Chiefs have been doing. Now, as far as head-to-heads go in this between these two teams, the Blues are coming out on top 4-1 against the Chiefs, so they seem to have something over one of their main rivals. And in the last outing, it was the Blues all the way by 31 points to 17. So there you go, there's some background between these two teams before we head into this final. Now let's have a look at the two teams, both their forwards and their backs. And we'll start off with the home team, the Auckland Blues, and have a look at their backline for this game. Okay, so let's get stuck into the Auckland backline and having a look first of all at fullback, and it's Stephen Perifetta that'll line up for the Blues. A great player at fullback. He's got a lot of attacking ascendancy, and watch out for him if we get a good dry track on the final night. Moving out to the wings for the Auckland team, and we have Mark Philpott on one wing and Caleb Clark on the other, both All Blacks of course. And Mark Philpott, I love this guy. I think he's one of the best underrated wingers in world rugby at the moment. He plays absolutely fantastic. He's a very elusive player, and he's also a very hungry player. If you watch a lot of the Auckland Blues games, you'll see Philpott standing in close to the ruck looking for the ball, where he picks it up and does those short darting runs straight through the opposition forward pack. And that can be quite decisive at times, and I like the way that Philpott always shows his hunger for the ball in any level of rugby. So he'll be starting off on one of the wings. And then moving into the centres for Auckland in this game, we're going to have Rieko Ioane, of course the All Black outside centre, and inside him we've got AJ Lam, both playing really well this season, and both these guys can cause a threat to the Chiefs defensive line. And it'll be on that occasion that we see a lot of Rieko Ioane, I think, taking the ball up and trying to get through that first line of defence and setting up good second phase ball for the Auckland backline. That's what Ioane's been doing most of the season, and it's been working very well. And then inside him we've got Plummer at number 10, and we've got Christie at halfback. So a good 9 and 10 pairing there for Auckland. Plummer, I think, has been one of the surprises of this year's season for the Auckland Blues. He's been playing very steady but good rugby. He's got a good boot on him as well. His percentage of goal kicking is not as high as Damien McKenzie's, but he's been solid as a rock there for Auckland throughout this campaign. So expect him to have another good game on his home ground this weekend. And then looking at the Auckland reserve backs to come on in this game, and we have Funaki, Hem and Forbes. 3 good players there, 3 players that can really make a difference when they come on. Bruce Hem's been playing very good rugby this year. A little bit unfortunate, I think, not to be starting this game, but of course Auckland have some good centres, and Hem will come on and he can play in a number of different positions. Forbes has been playing very well as well, and Funaki, of course, halfback cover, is a little bit unlucky probably not to be starting, but Christie, of course, is an All Black halfback, so we'll have to wait and see how he goes and when Funaki comes on. So that's the substitute backs for the Auckland team this weekend. Now let's take a look at the Auckland forward pack that's going to start this game, and they've been absolutely ginormous this season. They've been playing fantastic rugby, and Vern Cotter has got these forwards really united and proving to be a big force in every game, and I suspect that to be the case again in this game. So the back three for Auckland in this game are going to be at number 8. We've got Hoskins Satutu, playing outstanding this year, scoring a lot of tries, but being a big brute force both in defence and offence. So expect him to have a really good game in this final. And then the flankers, Ioane on one side and Dalton Papali'i, of course, the All Black on the other side. Again, both these guys have been playing exceptionally good rugby for the Blues throughout the season, and I think they'll both be up for a huge game in this particular game. Moving on to the locks, and we have got Patrick Tuipulotu, who's the captain of this Auckland team. He's been playing outstanding this year. I think his level of rugby has improved under Vern Cotter. He's become a lot more self-believing in his own performance, and I think having that role of captain has elevated his game to another level, and I've seen him playing some really big games so far this year. He's been very prevalent in the breakdown situation as well, which I think Auckland are going to be focused on this weekend against the Chiefs. And then looking at the front row for the Auckland Blues, and we've got a fantastic front row with Tuanga Fasi there as one of the props. Then we've got Riccatelli as hooker, and we've got Renata as the other prop. So this forward pack that's starting the game for the Blues, I think, is going to be a big force to be reckoned with. And I think this is going to be one of the pivotal areas from a strategic point of view on who's going to win this game, depending on what forward pack can get some dominance, particularly at set piece, but also at the breakdown. And this Auckland pack has been going very well, as I said, throughout the season. Now let's take a look at the substitute forwards that are going to come on for the Blues throughout this game, and they include the following players. Now the Blues are also punching pretty big when it comes to their substitute forwards for this game, and they've got Eklund, Fusitua, Taiavo, Berry and Choate, and they're enormous guys to bring on, and they've all been playing very, very well this season. So that's the Auckland team that's going to be taking part in this final in the weekend. I think it's a great Blues team. I think they've got a lot of confidence as well coming into this game, and they're going to be a very hard team to beat. Now, okay, so let's flick over to the Chiefs team now that's going to be representing them in this final on Saturday, and we're starting off with the backs for the Chiefs, and at fullback we've got Sean Stevenson, who's coming back from injury, so that'll be a big plus for the Chiefs. He's been playing outstanding this season, both in attack and defence, and they're going to need a big game from him if they're going to win. And then on the wings for the Chiefs we've got Narawa, and on the other wing we've got Nanai Satiro, and they've both been playing exceptionally well. They're both dangerous, and they both got good kicks on them as well from a defensive point of view. So that's something that the Chiefs can rely on from those two speedsters who are able to score a lot of tries for the Chiefs. Moving into the centres for the Chiefs, and this is where they've got a lot of firepower. Anton Leonard-Brown is out there at outside centre. He's been playing very well this season. A couple of games that I've watched the Chiefs play, he's been instrumental in their defence as well as lighting up their attack. Exciting player, getting back to some of the best form we've seen him play, which is exciting for potential All Black play as well coming up in the next few weeks. And then inside him at inside centre we've got Po Hepi. He's been playing well as well, and in combination with Leonard Brown, those two can be very, very dangerous. Moving into number 10, we've got Damien McKenzie, who's been the outstanding player for the Chiefs so far this season. I think his goal kicking has become a little bit more reliable as well. I've seen him getting over some really good kicks, some difficult kicks under pressure. He's been handling that as well. But a lot of the pressure from this Chiefs team hands on the shoulders of Damien McKenzie, and that's going to be a really big thing in this final. And then at number 9 at halfback we've got Ratimer, who's been playing outstanding this year. I've been saying that about a lot of players, but it's the truth. And I think Ratimer's got a great chance of putting himself up there for potential selection in Razor Robertson's first All Black team to play against England in that first game at Dunedin in a couple of weeks' time. So that's going to be really interesting to see whether or not he makes that squad. So that's the backs that are going to start the game for the Chiefs. And then let's have a look at the back reserves that are going to come on for the Chiefs. And we've got Rowe, Tupaia, and we've also got Rona. So 3 really good backs that can fit into that back line and really make a difference. Of course, Rowe is the halfback replacement, but in Rona and Tupaia, they've got some utility backs that can be dangerous from anywhere on the park. I don't think they quite match up to what the Blues have got, but we'll have to wait and see how these substitutes go. Now let's move over to the Chiefs forwards and have a look at the team that's going to be starting for the Chiefs. Okay, so looking at the back three for the Chiefs in this game, we've got Satiti at number 8, we've got Jacobson, and we've got Finau in the flanks, and what an outstanding combination these three are. I'm looking forward to this game so much, just to watch how the back three go against each other. I think it's going to be a clash of the Titans. It's going to be wonderful to see who can get on top and dominate, if any team can. Maybe it's going to be a bit of a stalemate in the back three and those guys are going to cancel each other out. But I expect at least one or two of them to have a fantastic game, which could make or break the game for each of their respective teams. We'll just have to wait and see. And then moving into the locks for the Chiefs, we have Tupou and Vi, two All Black representatives who are at the top of their game at the moment. And it's going to be interesting to see whether Razor Robertson will include these guys in his selection for the England series. So expect this position to be a very sought after position in this game in terms of winning possession at set piece. It's going to be very, very important, as is discipline, and that's something I want to talk about in this video, because I think these forwards are going to be so pumped up for this game that we might see the odd indiscretion, and we've seen that throughout the season from both packs. And if that's the case, a penalty here and there that makes a difference, or even a yellow card, could be the difference in this particular final. So I think both coaches are going to be making sure that they impress on their players to make sure their discipline is well and truly under control. And then moving into the front row for the Chiefs, and we've got Ross, Thompson at hooker, and Dyer as the other prop. And I think this might be an area where the Blues have a little bit of an advantage over the Chiefs in this particular game, but we'll have to wait and see, because of course it is a final and anything can happen. So there we go, that's the forward pack. It's going to start the game for the Chiefs in the final. Now let's have a look at their substitute forwards who are going to come on at some stage during the game. Okay, so those substitute forwards includes Slater, Prophet, O'Neill, Selby, Rickett and Parker. So a good bench there for the Chiefs, and does it match up to the Auckland bench? I don't think so. I think this is another area where the Blues have a little bit of an advantage, but once again it is a final and anything can happen. So there we go, there's the two team selections for this game on the weekend between the Chiefs and the Blues. Now let's get on talking about the prediction and see where this is going to go, as far as I'm concerned anyway. Look, I think this is going to be potentially a tremendous game of rugby. Even though the Blues have had it over the Chiefs in the last few encounters, I think this one is going to go down to the wire, and it could come down to something like Damian McKenzie's little bit of magic for the Chiefs. But I like the way that the Chiefs came out and played the Hurricanes last weekend. I thought that was an exceptionally good display of rugby, and I hope they weren't peaking too soon. I hope they didn't play their final last weekend, in other words. And I think if they can bring that same momentum, then they're going to trouble the Blues somewhat in this game at Eden Park. However, at the end of the day, the Blues playing at Eden Park, I think Vern Cotter's got this forward pack going very well this year. And I love the way they've been controlling their forward play when it gets into the red zone of the opposition. They've been scoring tries more times than not when they get deep into the opposition 22 through those forwards, and that pick and go, it's been absolutely outstanding. I've also been really impressed with the Blues defence this year. I think they've gone up another level or two, and that's been able to give them the opportunity to score a lot of points against their opposition without letting in too many points, and I think that's going to be key in this game. So unless Leonard, Brown and Stevenson and the two wingers for the Chief are able to get a lot of quality ball and get into some space, then I think the Blues are going to be able to control them. With Ioane and the likes of Mark Philpott out wide, they have a lot of potential threat, the Blues, and they can get through this Chiefs defensive line. So I think it's going to be a belter of a game. I think it's going to be pretty close, but I do see the Blues coming out on top on this one. I think they're going to make their fans at Eden Park very happy this Saturday in this final of the Super Rugby Pacific Championship. Once again, no matter who wins the game, I hope the game of rugby comes out as the winner. We don't get too much TMO interference or red cards or yellow cards putting a bit of a dampener on this game. Let's hope all the players stay on the field for 80 minutes and we see an exciting game of rugby that we've seen across a lot of Super Rugby games so far this year. Now, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere or in South Africa, make sure you try and watch this game. I'm sure it's going to be a brilliant encounter, and it's going to set us up great for this great weekend of rugby. We've got Japan against England, of course, and we've got South Africa taking on Wales at Twickenham. So it's going to be a huge game, weekend of rugby. And don't forget, we've also got the final of the URC Championship being played there at Loftus Versfeld in Pretoria between the Vodacom Bulls and the Glasgow Warriors. So it's going to be an action-packed weekend of rugby, and you're going to be able to follow it all right here on Inside Rugby with me. I'll be doing previews and reviews of all of those games, so make sure you don't miss a moment. Now don't forget, put your comments down below on this game between the Blues and the Chiefs. Who do you think is going to win this? Why do you think they're going to win it? And who's going to be the champion for 2024 in the Super Rugby series on that one. Okay. I'm going to be back again all weekend with previews and reviews of all the big games going on this weekend, so don't miss out a thing here on Inside Rugby. The best way of doing that, of course, is hit the subscribe button. Give this video a bit of a like and a thumbs up while you're at it. Helps me out with my journey on YouTube. And I'll see you all again really soon right here on Inside Rugby. Until then, stay safe, stay well, everybody. And it's time to say adios from beautiful Mexico. Bye for now.